Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another Chelsea breaking news show for you. It has been absolutely immense today in terms of the news that's come firing out. Some of it we've expected, others we're, let's say, shocked, but have eventually now happened, which we're going to be talking about as well. Lots to get into as well, guys. There's 50 of you guys here already. Do me a favor, smash that like button. That's what I need you to do now, guys. Hit the likes. We've got loads to get through in regards to Chelsea today and to talk to and get into as well. Have the owners done very well? That's the real big question of this all. Has the owners done a good job in selling the players that they have currently up to this point? Everyone, make sure, please, you tap the likes and share, please. I'd appreciate it. YouTube have decided today not to notify everyone that we're going live, which means people are not going to even be aware that we're currently live at the moment. So please, everyone, tap away, subscribe, and let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another Chelsea news show. On the back of yesterday's with CFC Pies, we went through a lot of the players that we were assuming were going to leave the football club. Well, today it has been confirmed, and we've had Here We Go. I think must have been a record from any one club of Here We Goes by Fabrizio Romano in one day. We've had currently 5, I believe. Kovacic, Mendy, Ziyech, Havertz, Koulibaly. We've had 5. We've had 5 confirmations of Here We Go in one day from one club. We knew Chelsea were going to empty out, but we didn't know we were going to empty out in such a style of emptying out in one day. 5 players are skipped, including N'Golo Kante, 6. We're going to be going through all of them in a second as well. Nearly over 100 people in the chat already. Big love to every single one of you. Before we get into it, let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Sean, how you doing? Jono, nice to see you as well. Brandon, big up to you. Gary's in the building as well. Gary Neville was called the Premier League club to be instant. Yeah, he's just waffling. Gutted to see Kai gone, but if the player wanted to leave for whatever reason, it's and look, it is the Kai deal kind of makes sense in all, in all of the situation that we've had with him up to this point, and we're going to talk about that in a bit as well. How we have got Kai for 71 million, and then I know, well, again, Danny, it's just huge, mate. It's absolutely huge. Manish, nice to see you as well, and your team. Well, no, it's just salty rivals that basically haven't got brains, like their clubs haven't got brains to actually realise that there's a means of selling players. It's just the fact, like Mark Goldbridge said today, a lot of the players that Chelsea have and hold are of value to Saudi Arabia because most of the players that they've signed have that Muslim connection. They're Muslim, they're big names in the Muslim society, and they're a big, from the marketing aspect, like Pi said, they bring a lot in terms of growth, and that's what they want to do. Well, they want to grow their leagues. They want it to be more noticed. They want to have some of the biggest names attracted in the world over there as well. So, just keep being salty. Big up JP, big up Dexter, big up Sean, big up Blade, big up John. I love it when rivals worry. I absolutely love it when rivals start sweating because that tells us that we're doing something right. It just does. It does. It just tells us that we're doing something right. And that's what I love about it, guys. Nearly 150 of you guys here at the moment. Havertz never cared about this club anyway. He's a glory hunter. Jokes. Arsenal paid. Ryan, don't feel too happy. Thierry says, big up. Arsenal robbery done. It's a robbery for you guys. Fair enough. Fair enough. If you've deemed that as a robbery, bro, big up to you. What a day. Corny's having a great day. Hope you're all having a great day. What a day going to sleep in Sydney, hoping to wake up to a 7th. Well, there's a lot going on still. Still made some amount that we need to talk on as well. We're going to get into that as well, guys. But keep tapping up the likes. Over 150 people slowly coming in as well. We've got Caicedo to talk on as well. We've got Jackson to talk on as well. I'm also going to be giving you any breaking news for the next hour or so that comes out in regards to Chelsea. It seems like it's a busy period as well. Just reading something. Okay, that will add to that. Sorry, guys, I've gone quiet because I'm. This is what happens when breaking news comes out. I'm literally trying to keep up with it all, and that's what it is. The Gary Neville comments are just irrelevant. I just saw him now. It's just, why is he crying for? Why is he crying for? The agreement, we're going to get to that in a second, 67.5 million is the deal to sign from Chelsea. That's what Tom Roddy and that as well said, 67.5 million. So we're going to talk about that in more depth very soon, guys, as well. I'm just trying to see where it's gone. But anyway, we move. Right, let's get on with things because we've got a lot to get into, guys. Sal says, hey, Jim, have you seen our Tuesday comments regarding Chelsea, Sal? Yeah, they're just salty, mate. Let them keep crying. The only reason why I watch this channel is big up, Jim. Big up, Kyle the boy. How you doing, bro? Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Brandon, what are you saying? Can we to buy that? Just, you know what? I've said what we need to do with Lukaku. Let him fly over. He's got the ump with us. How do you think we feel about you, mate? We spent 100 million on you, bro. I don't know why I'm writing about Lukaku, who's got other things to get on. But if he wants to moan about this club and he wants to fly over to London to force us to make a deal with Inter Milan, get his contract, put it in front of his face and rip it. And throw it in his face as well. And say, get out. Waste of money. That's what I would do, man. Absolute waste of money. Havertz and his stands are gone. All jokes aside, make sure to like the people. Yeah, to make sure you like, guys. Big up Leo as well, the only player... I'm just trying to read through the comments. Well, guys, need 200 people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get into things, shall we? Right. It's been a busy day. And we're going to start off with the news in and around Mateo Kovacic. And we're going to add this up as we go along. Exclusive. Mateo Kovacic joins Man City from Chelsea. Fee agreed and done deal. Here we go. The agreement between clubs just reached for 30 million fee. So £30 million fee, which in theory, I actually think is better. When they said 25 million, I thought that was just, in my opinion, a bit of a piss take. The 30 million price tag makes a lot more sense. I would have said more 35, 40, but still. He's going to Man City. He's agreed personal terms 2 weeks ago with them. The medical's in the next coming days. Pep now has Kovacic at his disposal. And look, Mateo Kovacic, what can we say about Mateo Kovacic? He's bring some very good moments. Very, very good moments. He's also been very inconsistent in himself. You know, I remember 1 or 2 seasons. I think it was one season where he was, for me, one of the best players of the season by far. But he never really managed to carry it through. And all right, there was a lot going on at Chelsea and whatever. But at 28 or 29 that he is as well, I just felt that he should have been more of the ones that one of the players that we looked up to more. Yeah, it's a shame he's going to Man City. No one wants to see a player like Mateo Kovacic going to Man City. I think the interesting part of Mateo Kovacic is how does he fit in and around Man City? How do they incorporate him into what they're doing? And that's not for us to worry. But to get 30 million for him, and obviously Kante's gone as well, and Jorginho's left, the 3 midfielders that we've been stuck with for the last 3 years, it now leaves it wide open for us to now grow, open the area to improve and help Enzo with maybe better, let's say better players, but better players in terms of the versatility of the options that we need for the new current manager. And I just think that it was a long time coming. And it doesn't surprise me that he's gone. Again, shame that he's gone to Man City. But this is life, guys. This is life. So 30 million for Mateo Kovacic. Yeah, let him cry, man. He always does is cry like a crybaby. Don't know why he's crying so much. No, Johnny's just going mad at the owners all the time. But we're going to talk about the owners in a bit soon. Gary Neville was pretty... all right, we're not talking about Gary Neville. So Kovacic for 30 million is a done deal. Here we go. See you later. We knew it was happening. Another midfielder out the window, which currently leaves us with just Enzo Fernandez. I know we've still got Ruben Loftus-Cheek there as well, but Kante's gone, Kovacic is gone. The core of what we had of a midfield is now left, and it leaves a gap for us, or a gaping gap for us to fill. And there's talks about Caicedo and stuff, which we're going to get into very soon. So Mateo Kovacic, thank you for your service. Good luck in the future. It's a shame you've gone to Man City, but I get it because he probably wants to try and win the Premier League, and he sees a good opportunity there in doing so. But see you later, mate. See you later. Now, the second one is one that should have happened last season, to be honest. Hakim Ziyech. Understand Al Nassr have reached a verbal agreement with Hakim Ziyech to join the club. Personal terms agreed. Ziyech will sign until 2026 if all goes to plan. Agreement reached also to Chelsea, waiting to repair, then sign contracts. Here we go. Done. Hakim Ziyech is leaving. Now, people wanted to know roughly how much is Hakim Ziyech going for. Well, he's going for in the regions of around, I believe, 8 million. is it around 8 million? Is what I read. So Hakim Ziyech going for about £8 million. Might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, not sure. But wait for a bit more clarification on that very soon. But it's a player, again, that never really... one of the players that we signed back under Lampard that's never really worked, never really fit in, never really benefited, doesn't suit the Premier League. I've been saying it for a very long time, just never worked having Hakim Ziyech at Chelsea. He's gone to Saudi. Makes sense. It really does make sense, in all fairness, him going over there. And he's another player that bites a bullet. So from 30 million made for Kovacic, we've now made 38 million, including Hakim Ziyech going in sales so far. So let's stay with this. 38 million is where we are at the moment, roughly. Let's say there or thereabouts. So Hakim Ziyech is another player that bites the dust. I have no more words really to say about Hakim Ziyech other than good luck with your future, mate. And yeah, you know, he was definitely one on the chopping block that had to go. The next one that is agreed and only been here for a short time is Mr. Koulibaly. Mr. Koulibaly, 1 season in at Chelsea. Do I feel we should have had maybe another season at least? Yes. We only just signed him. It wasn't the greatest of seasons for him in terms of adapting as well. But he has gone. And understand Al Hilal are now closing in on Koulibaly deal. Here we go, is there. Verbal agreement reached with Chelsea. Personal terms have also been agreed on a 3-year contract. He'll be joining Ruben Neves over at Al Hilal. The contracts need to be checked and signed pretty much past the clubs agreeing the deal. Koulibaly is another one. Now, people are asking, how much is Koulibaly going for? Well, from what we've been told, it's around 25 million sterling. So around 25 million sterling, whether that includes bonuses or not, whatever, I don't know. But if you add the 38 million to the 25 million, that then now gives you guys 48, 58, 59, 60, 61, 63 million pounds sold on 3 players. Mateo Kovacic, Hakim Ziyech, and Koulibaly. So another 3 players that have now been passed on. Yeah, sorry. 8 million for Hakim Ziyech. Koulibaly is 17 million. So we've got to take another. So we're at 38 plus 17, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 3, 55 million. So at the moment, we've managed to recoup 55 million on Ziyech, Koulibaly, and Kovacic. They're the first 3 that have come up as we speak at the moment. Big up to Joey in the house. He says, make sure we smash the likes. Guys, there's over 300 of you guys here already. Only 12 minutes in. Just get these likes up, guys. The more we get these likes up, the more it helps this channel. The more that it goes through the algorithms of YouTube. It allows us to grow as a channel as well. If you haven't subscribed to Chelsea Fan TV, please do that now, just below us. And the same with my own personal channel, which is GNA TV. So please try and subscribe to both of them as well. I'd appreciate it massively. We're at 55, so 6 down. How many? We're on our way, man. We're on our way. Who said that? I've not seen anything like that. Let me have a look at this, see if there's any other news while we're here before we continue our talk. Right. Not really. I'm just reading some people's comments of hate on players, which I just think is quite funny, to be honest. So, right, we go on to the next individual. The next individual. Koulibaly's gone. Kovacic is gone. Ziyech's gone. We now go on to Edouard Mendy, who is the 4th individual who has now, here we go, in one day. And again, I keep saying it. I think it's actually, in terms of Fabrizio Romano, got to be a record of announcements of one club selling so many players in one day or confirming in one day. I understand Chelsea have reached a full agreement with Saudi Al Ahly to sell Edouard Mendy. Mendy's agreed personal terms with Al Ahly on a 3-year deal, as revealed yesterday. Contracts to be checked and signed. And it's another here we go, guys. It's another here we go that we got there as well. Now, what is it that we're selling Edouard Mendy? How much are we selling Edouard Mendy for? I don't actually fully know. I'm not 100% sure. That's the only one that I've not heard anything on. So I'm assuming it's going to be for a good another 15 mil or something like that. Does anyone in the chat know or have heard anything around for Edouard Mendy? Anyone? I don't think we do. So yeah, so around someone said probably about 10, 15. Yeah, so let's say there's another 10 mil for Edouard Mendy, which I think would probably be maybe a little bit more. So that could bring you up to around 65 million for selling Edouard Mendy. So between Kovacic, Koulibaly, Ziyech, and Mendy, you're probably making around 65 odd million on the sale of him as well. And then we go on to move away from Edouard Mendy, who is now gone and left. And we now move on to, before we go to Havertz, I want to go to Mason Mount. So we're going to quickly talk about Mason Mount. So we're currently sitting on 65 million roughly at the moment. So the news around Mason Mount today is that Man United have today made an improved bid for Mason Mount. Proposal is around 45 million plus 5 million add-ons. Chelsea countered with 60 plus 65. MUFC have a limit while CFC are trying to comply with the 24-year-old's wishes. No agreements have been made yet via the Athletic, who again are pretty legit. So we're being told 45 million plus 5. They originally put in an offer of, was it not 40 million? Can't remember what it was before. Obviously, we've counted it with 60 plus 5. We want as much as what we got for Kai. So that there is the same figure as what we got for Kai Havertz. And obviously, Arsenal have agreed to it, which we're going to get to in a second. But it seems like we're trying to force Man United into doing the same. And I just don't know if they're going to do that. And that's the real question here. Are we going to overprice Mason Mount? At the end of the day, he's going to leave. We've complied. It says here, will CFC try to comply with 20? Chelsea countered with a 60 plus 5 million. MUC have a limit while Chelsea are trying to comply with the 20-year-old. So basically, we want to let him go. We want to work at Man United. But at the same time, like we did with Kai Havertz, and it's not us about trying to get as much as we can for it. It's more about holding the value that we feel is right for our players. We've done it with Kai Havertz and we achieved it. We might not be able to do it fully with Mason Mount, but there has to be a middle point between this. And if we can't agree 60 plus 5 million with them, because they're not even going into the 50s. Well, actually, with the 5 million, it's the 50s. But I can see this going for 55 million, another 10 mil, 55 million with 5 mil add-ons, or 50 million with 5 mil add-ons. I think that might bring it to work, but I still think the 55 million would be more of the favour. So 55 million plus another 5 million, I think could potentially happen for Mason Mount. We have to wait and see, but it's been rejected by Chelsea again. Over 400 people here at the moment. Big up to every single one of you guys here. We're talking about Mason Mount. We're going to continue talking about Mason Mount, and then we're going to come to Kai Havertz as well. So as Fabrizio Romano has reported here as well, obviously the bid has been rejected. The second bid's been rejected for Mason Mount. It was sent today and rejected after a few hours. Proposal was worth 50 million, as called by Ornstein. Chelsea always wanted the move. Man United will not pay crazy fee, but we'll talk to them too. So they won't pay crazy, but they're not walking away, which means that I feel there's going to be a negotiating middle point to this. Chelsea have got to respect that Mason Mount maybe wants to go Man United. Ten Hag is forcing Man United to get something done because he wants him as a player. So this all points to me that this is probably going to come down to a point of them actually coming to an agreement for maybe in around the 50s plus add-ons. But we'll have to wait and see what the next bid is. Guys, over 400 of you here. Big up, people. Keep smashing them likes. We're going to Kai Havertz very soon as well. Ornstein said 62 plus 3. Mac Bell said 65 plus 2.5. Yeah, I don't think it'll... I'll be shocked. If we get 60 million from him, I'll be pretty impressed. But I think we may be forced into this one and in negotiating sort of in between. What is crazy, and I feel like Mount's age, our valuation is right. You could probably argue that. It's probably is in and about right as well. Max, he isn't. Hello from Brazil. Hello. Thank you for joining us as well. Big love, man. Yeah, but he has a year on his contract. We can't be stupid as he could go for free. That's true. But at the same time, I still think that something has to give when it comes to Mason Mount. This is just dragged out too long, guys. Too goddamn long. We've got another comment here. What's this? Yeah, I mean, Pies is time. So with Mason Mount, it's still up in the air. We already know that. We're going to move on to Nizar Kinsella's comment on Mason Mount very quickly, and then we're going to go into Kai Havertz. We've still got the panel to come on as well, so make sure you smash the likes. Mason Mount is keen to join Man United this summer, but fears he could be priced out of a move. Chelsea are demanding 70 million via Nizar Kinsella as well. I think I think the Mason Mount saga is it's one of them ones where it's going to happen, but I just think it's going to be dragged because I don't think Man United are going to do an Arsenal and go like we did. So Arsenal, we just said straight up, we want 60 million plus. Then they just came back and did it. Man United might do that a bit later on if they're really forced into doing it. But then you got to think Man United have other priorities as well. And we know that they're looking at goalkeepers and midfielders and other things as well. So it just depends how high in the pecking order Mason Mount is in terms of valued by Man United. If they value him, they will obviously do what Chelsea require, like Chelsea do when they go trying to get players themselves. We knock on the door. He's a valued player to them, to whoever it is. We ask for the value. We put a value forward. It gets declined, and then they want usually another 20 odd million on top of that for us to actually get the job done. So these things always happen, guys. These things always happen. Watching from the Philippines. Big up, Dennis. Nice to see you. Not yet, Ashraf. Not yet. I think we'll continue playing with that one. Danny says one player I would want if we could get him is Enzo Lefi. He's so good. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Rice had an amazing season. Mount didn't, and Rice is just valued higher. I still think Rice is overvalued in my opinion. I don't think he should be going anywhere in the regions for what he is. But West Ham feel like they can hold it because it's now helped them win European football as well and whatever. But we now move on to Kai Havertz, who is now announced as leaving Chelsea Football Club. He has come out on Instagram and he said this. Havertz on Instagram, this was 24 days ago, he said this. A season none of us wanted, but we learn and grow as a team and come back stronger for next season. Thank you for your support throughout the season. The 65 million package deal now agreed to AFC. So that was his comments on it. But this is the thing, right? Things change, man. Things do change. And that is what it is, unfortunately. You know, at the end of the day, I keep saying it with Kai Havertz. And this is how I feel about it. Kai Havertz maybe wasn't even in, and we'll talk about this in a second. Kai Havertz wasn't probably in a position to actually be one of the players that Chelsea want to sell. But Kai Havertz is also one of the only players that Chelsea have in their team that holds some sort of value, which means that if we get an interest from a club who then are interested in maybe reaching near the terms that Chelsea have put forward, which was around 60 million and above, then they will be open to doing it. Kai Havertz is then willing to go over there in the fact that maybe Chelsea and him have agreed to allow him to go for maybe the funds and what we want to try and do in other areas. That money goes well. Him going and staying in London and going to Arsenal isn't a shock because he's made it very clear for a long time that him and his wife are very happy in London. So him turning away Bayern Munich and Real Madrid is not a big shock, guys. I'll be honest with you. Kai Havertz's first Arsenal signing as a deal will be completed for the next hours. Here we go. 60 million guaranteed fee, 5 million add-ons, long-term deal agreed, medical tests to be scheduled. Havertz will sign a contract this week. Documents are being prepared. Again, how do I feel about the situation? Very happy. We signed Kai Havertz for £72.5 million 3 years ago. And in them 3 years, like all the others in the team, most of them, he has been very underwhelming. Now, why I felt he could hold value, what we were worried about was anyone actually coming in and actually spending that money or seeing him valued at that kind of price. And the fact that Arsenal have come in and done that on the back of the 3 years that he's had at Chelsea, obviously tells you that Arsenal obviously value him and see him as someone that they feel that can find the qualities again that maybe we've not seen at Chelsea. And they've done it. From our perspective, it's just good business. Good business in the fact that we've been able to make £65 million on the player. There is no emotional attachment to it. I'll be quite frankly honest with you guys. We shouldn't really have any attachments to the whole situation. Whether you're a Kai Havertz stan or not, or if you like the player or not, at the end of the day, from the Chelsea standpoint, this is just very good business. This is a very good business. And irrelevant to what we fans think of him on the pitch, whether some of us think he still has qualities and he could find that potentially at another club, at the right team and whatever, or he's just that bad because you've seen him for 3 years and you just don't think he's good enough whatsoever and there's no ability. It doesn't really matter. One thing that I think we can all agree on as Chelsea fans is that what we've sold him for is a very good deal. And that's the be all and end all of the whole thing. We've got a good deal for him. So, I'm not too sad about the situation, guys. 518 people here as we speak, nearly 550 guys. Big love to every single one of you guys that are here. Smash the likes, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Panel to come in very, very soon as well. Havertz out for Nkunku money. You can look at it like that, Couch. You can look at it like that. It's not a bad thing. It also adds to the kitty. And when I already said that we've built around 65 million for both Koulibaly, Kovacic, Havertz, Ziyech, and obviously Mendy, we're not sure. Could be anything around 10 million to 15 million, if what we know. That now brings this a total income of 65 plus another 60, say, or 150. So around 125 to 130 million on the sale of them 5 players. And that is without selling Mason Mount, which could still happen. That's probably without allowing more players still to go out the door. I think we are easily going, and I'm going to say this now, I think we are easily going to reach around 200 million in sales of players. I think we are. And if we sell Mason Mount for around 50, 55 million and you add that on, you're already nearly there anyway. You're already nearly at what, 175 million in just selling that. So, and that's without selling Pulisic maybe for a little bit here if we do. And whoever else, if Ruben goes or not, Gallagher, if he stays or goes, 40 million there. You know, we're easily going to be able to build up around 200 million in sales, providing we sell Mason Mount. And yeah, some people may say, well, they're key players, some of them. But they're players that have decided to move on for whatever. And the ones that we've sold are ones that hold a bit of value. The fact that we sold Koulibaly and made 17 million back on it, that's not bad. Because no Premier League team was going to sign him for that. You know, Hakim Ziyech, we got 8 million on, even though I think he's not even worth 5. Not bad. Do you know what I mean? It's not bad as well. So at the end of the day, it's great news as well. Lewis just he's just boring, isn't he? So boring. Stop going on. Have you not listened to what I just said the whole fucking time? Just keep talking about it. He's the one that affects your head so much. You have to make shows about him and talk about partying because Havertz has gone. Fucking hell. Are you crying? Why are you doing shows? Why are you doing shows about parties of players leaving? Talk about it as an overall Chelsea thing, how important it is. Talk about how important it is as us as a fan base to be able, as a club, to have been able to sell and make nearly 130 million pounds on the sales that we've done without selling Mason Mount and others. The fact that we could nearly build up 200 million pounds doesn't rattle me. No, nothing rattles me. You can never get to me, guys, ever. You know, it doesn't bother me. You know, I've made it very clear how I feel about Kai Havertz and what I think, you know, and selling him for 65 million, you know, selling him for 65 million is what it is. You guys want to see me rattled, but you'll never get into my head. Doesn't work like that, guys. Doesn't work like that with me. I've explained my situation with Kai Havertz. It is what it is. So we move on. We move on. Just remember, though, if he does work at Arsenal, if he does, it's a big if he does work at Arsenal and you see a better Kai Havertz, just remember what I said to you guys. The structure will see Arsenal pay more than 60 million with the rest made up on add-ons with Matt Laws, what Matt Laws just said as well. So yeah, that makes sense as well. You know, 5 million in add-ons is probably going to be getting top 4, maybe winning the Champions League, which you're never going to do anyway, winning the Premier League or something like that. So in theory, we're going to get the 60 million slap on straight away, which is fine. So it's you guys, man. You're just making me laugh. At this point, you're just making me laugh. At this point, you're all just making me laugh. I can read in the chat. I see RD's comment. Oh, guys. Remember what I said? You never get to me. Anyway, moving on from that. Kai Havertz has been crucial in the talks as he only wanted to join Arsenal. No plan to go back to Bundesliga. Gave his green light to Arsenal 10 days ago, right after the project was presented. Arteta convinced that Havertz has a huge potential and can perform at a level in the AFC system. Shock. I just said these things. The reason they probably want him is because they feel he can perform to a certain standard. And that's why they spent the money. But now he, as an individual, has to step up in that system. You don't spend that kind of money for him to sit on the bench. He will have to start, and they will have to make it work with him in it, which don't bother me. And it shouldn't bother us as Chelsea fans. And like I keep saying, whether you rate him or you don't rate him, the outcome of this deal is the most important thing. And the fact that we've managed to recoup 60 to 65 million on the basis of getting him for 72 million is something that we should be happy for, or happy as Chelsea fans. That is it. There's not much more to it. Yeah, he will be fuming. He ain't happy, Lee Gunner. Lee Gunner is fuming. Guys, nearly 600 of you guys here. Big love to every single one of you. So Kai Havertz, Koulibaly, Ziyech, Mendy, and someone else. It's gone brain dead. Kovacic have now left the building. This is going to, this is going to be an interesting window. And like I said to you guys at the end of the season, this ain't, this ain't a big shock to me. This ain't a big shock to me. That he's gone. So there we go. Kai Havertz news there for you as well. Add-ons taken to 60. So we're getting more, obviously, other conflicting messages in around Kai Havertz, and one of them being Kai Havertz will complete his move. We know 65 million, but the add-ons take a total fee to between 67.5 million to 70 million, is what the Mail Sport was saying. So the personal terms agreed a minimum of 11 million a year. 11 million a year. Let's work this out. Let's work out this. 11 million a year. Times divided by 12. That can't be right. 11 million a year. What's that? About 229k a week? Roughly. 229k a week. I'm just working out on a weekly basis, right? At 210, yeah. So I've got around 229. So he's in the 200 regions that they've signed him for as well, which is interesting. Very interesting for a player being signed at that sort of level. All right, 210 a week, yeah. So we're in the 200s, around the 200s a week, 210. All right, cool. Oh my God, this is so sad. You've really become this sad about one player. Party. Lewis as well, party. My maths ain't great, check. My maths ain't great. Guys, nearly 600 of you here as well. Big up to every single one of you that are here. Now, that leaves all of these players gone. Left. A record breaking 150 million in the bag is what we... Oh, I forgot about N'Golo Kante as well, yeah. 6 players have left us and moved on. These are the 6 players. 150 million in the bag as well for Mateo Kovacic, Hakim Ziyech, Koulibaly, Kante, Mendy, and Kai Havertz. Now, my biggest question to you guys is this, and we're going to get the panel in a second as well, because we're going to be talking to them on this. How do you feel the board has moved so far? Now, remember, we don't know how much involvement Bowley and Igbali do have at the moment in negotiations. I don't think they have as much. I think Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart are the ones that are on the front with Vivell and negotiating these prices, which is a good thing. This is why they pay these people to come in and do the job. But are you happy on what business Chelsea Football Club have done up to this point as a board? Because I'll be honest with you, from my opinion, in one day, I say one day, they've been doing this for a while, but for these announcements to be made in one day of the players that have been, made to be sold, I think it's great business all across all of it. Whether you have a favoritism for a player or you hate the players that have left or whatever, this is good business for us as a football club. And I think, look, the board get a lot of stick, and they continue to get a lot of stick from specific Chelsea fans. And, that's fine for people to have their thoughts on that. But when they do or are able to make sales and negotiate fees like they have done for example, Kai Havertz and what they're trying to do for Mason Mount, and then think of selling players like Kante and Koulibaly and Ziyech and Mendy to Saudis because they know the attraction that they would have over there, and also the fact that they can make value on them players by sending them over there is all, again, smart business from the Chelsea Football Club. Mateo Kovacic, we knew this a couple months ago with Man City. So that was just there and to be done in itself. There is still a long way to go. And there's no way that we can judge it for now. But what I would say from now is that is a very good start in how quick they've moved. That still gives us July and that still gives us August to then go out in the market and start finding the players we want, the positions that we need, or whatever, to go and get, done before the beginning of the season. And that's the key. It's about how quick we've moved. And they have moved quick. And there's still more to be done, obviously. We know that. But this is good. This has been very, very good. Now, when we talk about incomings, we're going to let in the panel in very shortly as well. When we talk about incomings, we talk about Nicholas Jackson, who seems to be heating up as well. Matty Moretto says that Nicholas Jackson's entourage is flying to London to finalise deal with Chelsea. However, if Chelsea want to pay the release clause in instalments, Villarreal wants some power of the future of the player. I specifically don't know what they mean by that. However, if Chelsea wants to pay the release clause in instalments, Villarreal want some power of the future of the player. So do they want to have an agreement within the contract that allows them to recall or have him on if we ain't bringing him into the team? Or I don't know. I don't specifically know what, but it seems like Nicholas Jackson is one of the players that looks like it's coming very close in joining Chelsea Football Club. And along with that is someone that most of this fan base want as well in Caicedo. So the news in and around Moises Caicedo at the moment is that Chelsea, and this is from Fabrizio Romano on YouTube, Chelsea's big target is Moises Caicedo, and they are closing in on Nicholas Jackson. Many things are happening in terms of new signings. So Fabrizio Romano is basically clarifying that we are not sitting around. We are not sitting around as a football club, and I keep saying it. We're probably very ahead in terms of what we what's this as well? Chelsea had a favour of what we're trying to do now in terms of goalies as well. We've had this. Again, I'm not sure on the source really. Copy. I don't know who Copy is. I've never seen it. It must be like a Spanish outlet, but we've got this as well that's coming in regards to the Valencia goalkeeper. Chelsea had a 35 million euro bid for Valencia midfielder Yunus Musa rejected in January and could soon make another. So 35 million euros is apparently what we offered back then. Again, Chelsea have many targets, I've been told, of goalkeeper or goalkeepers that they want. So yeah, so now I've just sent a link to the panel as well. I want to come in. So yeah, per Fabrizio's tweet, Chelsea won't be doing much business in the public. Chelsea won't be doing much business in the public this summer due to Poch wanting to be, and that's good because one of the things that we did last year, which was quite frustrating, was the fact of constantly everyone knowing our goddamn business, or us being told that we were going to do stuff, and then we were like thrown the other way. Do you know what I mean? So I don't mind it being done quietly, providing that we're getting things done. Do you know what I mean? So it's important. It's important to for us to know that as well. Just going to send a link to a couple of people that wanted to join us as well. So let's quickly do that. Let's get Josh. Send a link to Josh. Josh, I've sent you the link, bro. I'm also going to send a link to ZVO Genius. Oh, what's going on here? ZVO Genius. ZVO, not Genius, but ZVO Matt. Matty's got the link as well. I need to send it to someone else in a second as well. Got a bit of news on Romelu Lukaku that's coming as well, actually. I'm just going to translate it. Stalemate for return to winter with CFC, which does not accept loan offers. Lukaku is open to permanence. Pochettino has other ideas. The Al Halil have made a new big offer on Lukaku, and now Lukaku has opened. So it seems like Lukaku's maybe accepting the idea of maybe accepting an offer. Again, I don't know the source because we're going to get a lot of source, but it's an Italian journalist that's come out on that as well. So interesting stuff on that. There was obviously notes about Tchouameni coming to Chelsea, but again, I don't really believe that they just signed him. I know he ain't playing much at the moment, but I don't see Tchouameni being an option. But who knows? This window's when it involves Chelsea and being active could be anything. We've seen it so far. So, Couch, how are we doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. What is that stupid picture, man? What is that?
That's you, man. It's a self-portrait right there.
Not me. Not me. You can't get in my head. You should know this by now, and all of you. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You know, I've said what I feel about Havertz. You've heard it. I've said it on there briefly. But what's your thoughts on the business so far today?
I mean, Saudi Arabia has come through like a bandit right now, man. Like, it's been crazy the amount of money that's been going through there, the types of players that are going there too, right? Had it not been for Saudi Arabia, I don't think that we would have been seeing the movement that we're seeing right now. But yeah, it's been crazy. And as you said, I do believe that there's going to be more outgoings, probably to the same place, you know.
It's funny because everyone tries to paint something that is just not going on right now. You're trying to do it with the wrong person. Don't try and like Johnny me. It's not going to happen. Right? Don't try and Johnny me. It's not happening. I'm telling you now. It's not happening. It's not bothering me one bit. I'm actually happy with the sale. I've said it already. I think it makes a lot of sense for the club. I'm happy that we've managed to sell him for that amount of money and make that amount of money back as well. I think it's relevant to you supporting him or thinking he's good or thinking he's shit. I think the one thing we can all agree on is that that's great business for us.
Absolutely.
everything else is irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? So
that is a great bit of business, man. £65 million for a guy that, you know, barely scores, barely creates, you know, all that, you know, like can't eat Skittles and gummy bears to get energy. You know, like it's crazy.
Josh, I did send you the link, by the way, as well, if you want to come in. But yeah, Matt, I see your comments more for getting Havertz. I see something about Mendy. Obviously, you're digging Mendy out and being happy about him leaving. So, what do you want to say, my man? Come on.
Man, I'm happy everyone's leaving. I'm happy Kante's gone. I'm happy Mendy's gone. I'm happy Kovacic. I'm happy everyone's leaving, man. Like, I like everyone sees that tweet, but no one saw my other 6-7 tweets about it. But man, on the main topic on Kai Havertz, I mean, I obviously don't rate him. I don't want to come and slander him as much anymore, man. He's not our player anymore. But I think it's a perfect move. I'm shocked that we got that amount of money and people, you know, coming in saying the owners would never top Marina. Marina's the you know. Why are you gonna bring it up? I mean, he was the most average. He was the most average keeper. If you want to get into Mendy,
it's the most dumbest comment I've ever heard.
He was the most average and overhyped player I've seen.
No, he weren't.
Jem came out here and he just came. Mendy was world class. I said, Mendy's a good player, but he's a big average player. He's an average player.
That triggered him.
And then everyone comes and says,
he's definitely better than Kepa. He's definitely better than Kepa, though. Let's be serious.
I've never called Kepa world class. Never called Kepa.
No, but he's better. He's done a lot more He's done a lot more for Chelsea than Kepa has.
I think it's very even. I think it's very even. No, I mean, I hear the thing, Gemma. I would say I'll clap my hands. I think Mendy's done well, but again, the way the fans overhyped him is unbelievable. That's why I call him meaty Mendy. He's a bang average player. Kepa's a bang average player. I've said that multiple times. I've never called Kepa world class. Never called him generational. Obviously, he's just a good player. I like the guy. But I'm happy he's gone. I mean, you know, we got him out. He was never going to regain this form he had. You know, we had one of the best defenses in the world. The shot rate from opposition teams were never as high when he was in goals. But he won a Champions League, clap my hands, but he was never a world class player. Like, and Ballon d'Or shouts, like I was hearing from someone like Jem, Ballon d'Or shouts, world class player, this, that. But hey, man, he's gone. He's gone. Kovacic is a
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, there was Ballon d'Or. It was shouts for and the other one, the key one. But anyway,
everyone done that for Jorginho as well, which was funny. But we made.
Well, I mean,
and again, you got Kovacic. Kovacic is the Champions League winner. Move him on. Kante's Champions League. We've got to move on, man. I mean, I don't know what
Derek Ornstein tweet on Caicedo.
I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real. I fell
I
for
think
it.
there was a fake. Yeah, there was a fake one before I saw that too. There's a fake Ornstein.
Do you know what? I've
parody.
got to give it to Top Skill. There's a guy called. Have you seen this? There's an account called Top Skills. He's just come out of a comment saying Chelsea's nearing agreement to with Brighton for the signing of Caicedo worth around 80 million plus 10 million add-ons. He reckons.
True, or like it's just some man who is this guy. I mean, I'll be honest, Jim. I'll be honest. I think we get Caicedo, to be honest. I've always said this on Never Failed the other week. I said if we really want Caicedo, we will get Caicedo. Don't worry about. Oh, I've seen this guy. Yeah, this guy. Everyone highly dislikes him. Highly.
He said to him the last two. He said two things about Chelsea last summer. I can't remember what it was, but they ended up coming through. And he said it first.
I've seen all the comments. People say that he's not reliable, this that. But I'll be honest. I've said it. I think did this whatever is, if it's real or not. In my opinion, I think we get Caicedo. I said if we really want Caicedo, we will get Caicedo.
This guy even called Enzo. It was Enzo, wasn't it? It was actually Enzo that he called.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember.
Didn't everyone call Enzo and then it fell through and then it recame?
He was the one that put his neck out and said it's happening. I remember that. So I was like, who the hell is this Top Skills guy? Come on, man.
He's a here we go. That's who he is. He's a here we go. Guys, 100 and what we're being told around 150 million on the sale of what 6 players already.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And then there's more.
You can't be upset with the owners.
You can't. And Joe, it's just a bias. I mean, we've all had our ups and downs with the owners. We all disliked what the owners did when they came, but they've done absolutely amazing. 65 million for Kai Havertz. That is unbelievable. And now you're just gonna get rid of that last mole and get rid of that Mason Mount fella for 40 million, 35, whatever. Get him out. And this will be nearly a 10 out of 10 clearing. This is like, and the thing is, we're not even done.
We're just getting rid of all the players that you don't like.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I'll go shake Broly's hand myself, mate. And Kepa's saying too, man. I don't think it was like going anyway, mate. Poch wants him as a number one.
I don't think that we can make any true assessments about incomings and outgoings until we see what's going on the pitch, because we all had the exact same feelings about the last summer. Oh my God, 10 out of 10 summer. Look, we got Koulibaly, we got Raheem Sterling, we got all these guys, and pretty much every single one of them flopped. So.
I think Couch is getting these players out. That's my town. Like, I've been saying this. I think in 2021 was saying we gotta get these players out.
Everyone was like elated that like Rudiger left, and then we saw how his leadership was missed. We just have to see how it all plays out first.
But again, Rudiger was a good player. Rudiger was a good player.
The reason why I'm a little more excited is because there's a little bit more reason for optimism now. But the proof is going to be in the pudding. Let's just be real. Like
100%. But the most important thing of all of it is that Poch, that whatever we do moving forward now, that Poch gets what he needs to be successful because he does have a system, Poch, and we want to play a certain way, and by doing that and getting the best out of it, we need to make the right decisions in the window to improve it. So that's something that we still need to see. Getting rid of players that maybe don't want to be here is the biggest thing for me, and we're doing that right now. And some maybe just for value and whatever, but.
No, you're bang on. The fact that we're getting players out who are wantaways anyways, and we're getting good value on them is unbelievable to me. That's a sign of a board that is working with the best interests of the clubs at heart, the best interests of the club at heart. And like if they can continue on this path, if they don't have to use make weights to get players in and out the door, then more power to them. Like the sell of Koulibaly now almost makes Colwell. I don't want to see him leave now. I know we were on stream about a week and a half ago. I was like, listen, maybe if the only way to get Caicedo is to, release Colwell at a reasonable field to Brighton. I'm not really about that anymore because I'm not quite certain that we have Badia Shield as a guy who I rate as highly as the rest. So I want to see a healthy competition on that spot now. Koulibaly's out the door. Wasn't sure that we were going to be able to move him out, and whether or not we have playing time was always going to be debatable. But now I'm of the opinion let those two battle it out. Let's see where the cream rises. That's
Cole has to come back now because I think Chalobah's gone. I don't know if that's advanced or not. I haven't said that, but I think Chalobah's gone too. So Cole has to come back. So I don't think we'll be keeping him for Brighton. And I think if we pay the money for Caicedo, we don't cheap it. I don't remember what was Brighton asking. Did anyone know what the exact price that they were asking?
It was around 70 to 80 million. We were told.
I think if we put that 70 mil down, I think we will end up getting. I don't think we need to use that Cole.
I think they're going to carry a bit more. I think what Top Skills has said there, it's going to include. It will push it up to that, including add-ons. So I reckon you might see us go 70 mil or 75 mil plus
55 plus 15.
The thing is, we need a DM. This striker from Villarreal, I don't even know his name. I've never watched a minute of him. That's more, I would say, more of a want, right? But we need a DM. We need this DM to come. So I think we'll go spend all the money we get on him.
No, we need a striker.
Is this guy? Hang on, Coach. My thing is, I haven't watched this guy, so I don't know. I'm gonna watch him when I have time on the weekend. But is he a guy coming tomorrow and score goals? If you say yes, I'll be happy.
I don't know if necessarily he's the prime target. We need a striker room. There's going to be we need 3 or 4 strikers, to be honest, as of right now. So whether or not he comes in to be the number 1 or he comes into this fight for his place, we need strikers. That's how I see it. As far as DM go, yeah, you're right. We need a DM. We need both. For me, I prioritize striker myself because we spent so much money in the midfield already. But yeah, we need both.
How did we spend so much money in midfield?
How? What do you mean?
What made you think that our midfield was fine?
I didn't say that we're fine. There's nothing close to fine about our midfield, dude. we just lost Kovacic. We just lost Kante. I'm saying that.
I thought you meant before this. I thought you meant to say we didn't have to worry about the midfield because we've always needed a striker. But
no. I still prioritize striker. But you're right. Before this, more so. You're right.
So I would probably say that I feel the midfield has been neglected for 3 years, and it's something that we were meant to have sorted out last summer, and it ended up being last in the pecking order. And we ended up signing we got Zakaria in, didn't we? In one of it, and it was just in one of this, and it was just we didn't really fully concentrate on an area that I think I feel you need for the balance of the squad. And each time we played with Kovacic, Jorginho, and Kante was always injured. Kovacic was always in and out injured. We was forcing people to play out of position because we didn't have.
What about when we had what was his name there from Atletico Madrid there?
Saul Niguez. That's what I mean. These are not
Tchouameni, and we went for Saul Niguez. This.
Are we going back for Tchouameni? Is that real? Are we actually going back for him?
No. I just think we need options. This is what I'm saying.
This is what I mean. We signed Lukaku, didn't we? That was meant to have solved our striker issue. We spent a lot of money in that area and getting someone in to sort it out, and it didn't work. So it's
that's where it comes down to scouts. I mean, I've said for this summer, I think this summer is kind of the summer to go for cheap players who are kind of the scouts of pick, like Bradley Shield. This guy came in and automatically, came in and it was 20, 30 mil. I think that's what we should be doing for the DM position. You can get your one big DM, guy like Caicedo, but go spend that little money and the short wages and someone the scouts can trust that can come in tomorrow and still perform, right? I don't know why. Is the scouts doing that? Are we still looking at someone else? I hope so. But is our midfield also getting neglected again? Are we even pushing for it? I'm seeing this striker guy getting done first.
I mean, I'd rather hear the board moving in silence than have everything out in the press. But with that said, I will say this: you don't necessarily go in for one target and then just be done with it. I don't think that we're just in for Caicedo. You cast your irons on as many targets as you possibly can and negotiate deals for all of them at the exact same time so that you're not left holding the bag if the one deal falls through. It's precisely what I feel like Arsenal did with Rice and Caicedo. They were saying that they're in for both. I didn't think for a second that they're going to get both. They had to be negotiating for both at the same time in the event that they lose out on one, which clearly they did with Caicedo.
Well, we need two. That's the truth. Even if we do get Caicedo, we do need a second, and that's the real big key of it. Who is the second one? We know Latvia is very being targeted by Arsenal, but there is a lot of options in that area, and that's the one thing I would say with the midfield. They just need to make sure that they get the right profile to go with. If it's a Caicedo and Enzo, the right additional profile to go in with that. Is it more of a specialist DM that can do the jobs, or is it another Caicedo who's versatile who can play in the two or playing this on his lone role in the six? These are the things that we need to strengthen, because we can't we probably could get away with it next season just because we haven't got any European football and we're only playing once a week, barring when we play cup competitions. So we might be able to get away with it, but still you want to use this season to strengthen as much as possible and try and push the Champions League. And by doing that, I think you're still going to need to have a versatile squad throughout the season, especially around December when it gets a bit busy, So it makes a lot of sense. Kev, how you doing, mate?
Yo, I'm gassed.
Gas. Yo, this has been the maddest transfer fucking day in the history of the sport, man. Like, when I said a few months ago, like, end of the season, we knew there was going to be some big job to get rid of some deadwood out this team, And I was thinking over at least 2 transfer windows, even a season, to get rid of these 12 men that need to go. Man's got rid of half of them in 5 hours, blood. Like, what the fuck? Like, I can't believe it. I'm looking at this Fabrizio Romano's Instagram. It's just Chelsea. Every single player. Kovacic, Kante, Koulibaly, Kai, Eddie, Mendy, Ziyech, Bill's very close as well. Like, this is what we want to be seeing. We want to be seeing this shit. Like, we don't. It's enough's enough. From what we seen last season, mate, we've got to. It had to be a brutal transfer window, and obviously, from what we're seeing, he's not fucking about, innit? He's going and doing what needs to be done. So fair play to him.
Absolutely.
I always felt that the owners, and people you might disagree with me on this, but I always felt that the owners, since they've come in, have always tried to have their best intentions in hand. And even though they got rid of half the board and made raw decisions in sacking Tuchel and bringing Potter in, which they fucked up on, we know all this anyway. But it's more of the fact that, like, they rushed to sign players to try and please the fans and try to just get things going quickly to try and, like, I always felt they tried to do the right things. I just don't think they've done it correctly in some ways. Does that make sense? And I think now
I agree,
they've got a board and they've got a team now that can negotiate in Winstanley and Lawrence, which you're seeing in deals like Kai Havertz, where we're selling him for 65 million. You can now see that, it's getting, hopefully, fingers crossed, and it's still early doors, that we're moving in the right way now in terms of what we're trying to do with this football club. And it's early doors. We've still
I think they came in, though. You're right. They came in, and then I think I said the exact same. I think they were right intention, but they just had no clue what they were doing. And they knew nothing about football. They rushed it too much. The fans were asking for it. We did ask for it. We were happy for it. But they rushed it. Now they've got a team. Now look at, like, unbelievable. How much did Ziyech go for? How much does Ziyech go for?
8 million.
So even these little deals are still, at least just clearing these players out. It's still great. And now we're selling Kai Havertz for 60. I'm still shocked for 65 million. That's unbelievable. If you get that through, that's unbelievable.
With the 8 million, though, you're getting rid of his wages. He was on 100 grand a week, and he doesn't run, doesn't do anything, and he's on 100k. So what we're doing is you're getting 8 million as transfer fee, but you got, I think, of the wage as well, which will probably accumulate another 12 million. So in essence, it's probably the 20 million pound off the books. And it would have been.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think we just need to give these owners a bit of a bit of a break, but, like, just give them a bit of time to try and work what they're trying to do, rather than just jumping on the bandwagon as they're these bad owners that have no clue. Yeah, they don't know how to make footballing decisions. I think we've seen that.
They have football people in place right now. Like, let's just keep in mind, like, all of this stuff right now is not down to the Igbali and Boli. They are the overseers of this football club. They're not they don't run the day-to-day operations of this football club. We have a board, we have directors and whatnot in place that handle the day-to-day affairs. So crediting them for, selling Kai Havertz for 65, that's not them. That is our directors. That is Vivel. That is,
those guys. He actually is on 20%, I believe. I think that's the last time I read. He's only running like 20% of the operation now. Apparently, it was according to reports, anyways. But
also, according to reports, Chelsea only want to sell Lukaku. Saints just come out. Chelsea only want to sell Lukaku, not loan him, or they want him off the books completely. And the only team that are, the only club that are actually doing that is obviously, again, a Saudi outfit at the moment. Inter Milan don't want to buy Lukaku, but apparently he's willing to cut down. He's willing to cut down his salary as well now, which is agreed that he will do, apparently. So
Lukaku is a very, very, very sticky situation. Unless he lowers his wages, because he's on 375k a week, isn't he?
That's what he's agreed to. That's what he's agreed to.
Yeah.
Surely some Saudi club picks him up now. Like, now, I think we're just relying on that.
He's not going to want to go there yet, though. unless they offer him £1 million a week or something.
He's going to beg for Inter for a little bit
Can't
longer.
they said he wasn't going to go there?
Because they don't want to buy him, and Chelsea won't loan anymore. So he's got no choice at the moment. If they don't want to buy him, he can't sit there and go, "Oh, you buy me," and they're saying, "We ain't got the money. We need to sell." Because I think that's their problem at the moment.
There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. There's a few Inter Milan players that we've been linked with, that Luciano Martinez and Barella. There's a couple of lads that I'll take from there. There's got to be some way where we can swap either one or two of the players and give them a transfer fee, and say you can have Lukaku instead, and everyone gets a good deal there, because right now Lukaku is the only transfer situation which is going to be a difficult one to clear up because of his high wages. So if we can try and get a swap deal there or something in the lines of that, hopefully we can get him off the books as well, because we don't want him back.
So here's a little breakdown for you guys on what we've done up to this point, and it's from Expected Chelsea, who's clarified that Havertz on FFP profit has made 37 million, 13.5 million a year wage saved on the books for Chelsea. So we saved 13.5 million on the wages. The FFP profit we've made is 37 million on there. Kovacic is a 22 million profit with a 6.5 million wage saved on the books. Mendy is a 1.2 million profit with a 4 million wage saved on the books. Koulibaly is a 6.7 million loss, because obviously we bought him a lot more for what we did, but obviously we saved 13.5 million wages. So in theory, the wages kind of counteract what we lost, if that makes sense, because we're saving on the wages now 30.5 million. Ziyech is 6.5 million loss again, but obviously we're saving 5.5 million in wages against that. And then Kante obviously is 16.2 million of wages saved, which is quite heavy. That leaves us with a net profit of 47 million with a 58.2 million a year wage saved on these players that have just been sold.
That's good, man. That's wait, did we lose Kante? Kante was on a free, yeah? We lost Kante on a free?
Yeah.
Well, he was on contract.
We don't know.
Yeah, he was paying.
Oh.
But again, that don't make sense because we didn't save with Kante because he was coming down to the end of it. The others are kind of so maybe you could ignore Kante and maybe look at the others.
But technically he was on the books for whatever fee it was, even though we did let him go.
Well, that's only the beginning, guys.
Yeah. You know? Fucking, he went for massive money. Jeez, the money. As I said, the money they're spending. Lukaku will have to only go to Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, no one's paying. And the thing that he doesn't want to go there, the money talks. If the right money goes, he will 100% go. It doesn't matter if it's in Europe.
There's actually a bit of news coming in now. Actually, that he's open to move to Al Ali.
Nah.
Yeah, I saw that.
That seems like an erroneous rumor, though. Like, I don't know.
Declared with the super chat says, do you think we can trick Lukaku to go to Inter Miami? Not Inter Milan, Inter Miami in the America, tell him there.
Mate, I don't think Americans aren't even going to pay his wages. There's no way.
So there you go, guys. That's not bad business for us. And you've got to bear in mind, this is the real big thing with Chelsea moving forward. And I think we can see it on some of the players we bought through already through the new ownership. They have a wage structure that they want to abide by. And why they didn't sign Ugarte, as much as it may annoyed a lot of people that we didn't get it done, is because of that wage structure and maybe allowing us to do other things with other players that we want to buy in at a later stage. And I think they're going to be very strict on that. If they can get players agreed how they want to and it fits the wage structure for them and they can obviously look good to FFP and whatever, they're going to have to do it, you know, in any means. So by doing that, they need to make sure a lot of players are gone. And that's why there's so many outgoings going and why we're making savings on wages is so that we can bring in players, obviously, with more to put forward, you know, and it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
I think we're doing the right things. So
also, Jeff, we're selling Callum Hudson-Odoi to a Saudi club too, I think, for 25 mil. I don't know if you spoke about that. That's another deadwood player we're selling too. So you can add that one to the list too, because I think it's, I don't know if it's
that might be a bit fabricated, to be honest. We've got to think Callum Hudson-Odoi is not really hit the peak of his career yet. It'd be very stupid for him to go.
He's never peaked. He's never peaked.
Yeah, well, he had a good season, didn't he? Under, I think it was the Europa League season.
His very first season.
Yeah, he looked decent. I think he'd probably be better off going to like a Everton kind of team or Palace just to rebuild his career. I don't.
Crystal Palace would be perfect.
Yeah. If he goes to Saudi Arabia, I think he's just wasting his. That league's basically like League Two standard. Apart from
when I see these comments about N'Golo Kante leaving, and it just hurts, doesn't it? Because he was one of the players out of all of them that you're just like, oh my god, like a bit like Hazard when he left, you know. It's just that's the feeling you get with it, you know. It's just sad, sad time.
Yeah, well, honestly, he wanted to leave, man. So
there's a time and place for anything. We would salute the legend, but it was, it's time.
It is what it is, man. You know, I mean, I remember people talking he doesn't care about money, this, that, man. He went for 100 million to Saudi Arabia. That's crazy money, man. So he does care about money, but it is what it is. If he wants to go Saudi, that's fine.
Yeah, but the thing is,
let's be honest, bro. He's at the end of his career. Like, he's only got 1-2 years left in him. Let's be all be honest. Like,
yeah, but
what he does, of course, his paycheck. But
think about it. Can't say his hamstrings not playing more than 10 games a season. And the guy is on over 300k a week. So what's the point in keeping the player on 300k a week? He's going to play no more than 10 games. It's just not financially.
No, I'm not saying to keep him. I don't want to keep him. I want to get rid of him ages ago. Yeah, it's good actually. It's good. It's good. I've said I think every player, if any player wants to go, they should go. I think it's time we start just being harsh on these players. Like Mount doesn't want to be here. Mount can go, man. I don't care if he's scored one goal in the last 10, 15 games. I don't care. Everyone needs to go if we want to get rid of him. So, and we're getting rid of him. It's good. It's working. So that's good, man. We just keep going.
Job's not finished. Job's not done.
Job not done. We still got a couple more.
Outgoings and ingoings have to happen at the exact same time, as far as I'm concerned. Like it can't. You have to be able to juggle both things at the exact same time because players are going quickly. We can't wait. We obviously need to be moving people out the door so we can get maximum fees for them, but we also have to be bringing these players in at the same time as well. So it's going to be a tough, next couple of weeks is going to be crazy, without question. Moving players out and moving players in. Definitely.
I think what we need to do though is get players out before we start getting players in, because before preseason, what you don't want is you got Kovacic, you don't want to be there. Koulibaly, don't want to be there. Ziyech, Mount, Havertz. There's about 7 or 8 players in that changing room that don't want to be there. So you don't want to mix it up. Bringing new players into a toxic environment where it's like you go into a new workplace and half the people don't want to be there. You get that. You sense the environment. So I think getting the players out. I also getting the players out is more important than bringing the players in at this point in time.
I'm not sure that's true because, like, if you're getting I think it both has to happen simultaneously because if we're getting these players out and then targets are being sold to other teams, we're getting those B targets again. You know what I mean? So, like, as much as we need to have players going out, we also have to bring the A targets in before the other clubs get in.
I want to bring those targets in.
Yeah, but look, you got to think what happened last year with Mikhail Mudryk. He was a target for us, and we rushed that. And look what happened. He kind of flopped. You just don't want to rush your transfer.
I don't think we rushed that though.
There's always players on the market what you can bring in. It's just about having a strategy which is going to help the team.
It's about quality over quantity. Yeah,
precisely. We need to get out before we bring in. There's no point rushing into players, bringing them in, and coming into a toxic environment. It's just not going to work.
No, we have targeted players that we want. Like, for instance, Caicedo. Like, I don't want to wait to bring those guys in, and we already started preseason. I want to get them on preseason early and have them working with Pochettino as soon as possible. I think with these guys going, they will, like, a lot of them will be gone, but we also need to get who we're working with for this new season and get a fast start. None of this late business. We need a clean preseason.
I do think we are working on a lot of the deals quietly. I think it's good that we are working quietly because that's when a lot of things will start going bang, 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 bang. But yeah, I mean, for all we know, a lot of them could be privately in advanced stages. I think it'd probably be stupid if we were get rid of all of these players and we haven't begun or have any sort of advanced talks with our targets. So yeah, I mean, besides that,
I just peeped that, man. What's this guy at? Al Shavi.
5,000 essentially raising around 130.
You already know.
I understand that Lawrence Stewart is Lawrence Stewart is the director in charge of the outgoings. Good work. So Lawrence Stewart is supposedly the person that's in charge of all the outgoings at the club at the moment. So there you go. That's what we're being told in a comment. Mason Mount is another.
Lavia the last little while. I mean, I know the only two players I've been banging on about is Nkunku and Lavia. Those are the only two guys.
It's more. It's before we go to that. Before we go to that, there's more comments coming out about the fact that Chelsea are reaching close to an agreement, and it's not a Fabrizio and Alston. We'll wait for that, but they're saying around 75 plus 5 million add-ons, so around 80 million.
For who?
Caicedo. Personal terms are already agreed, but the medical is due to follow in due course, and that's supposedly via the Athletic, but I've not seen that yet, so we'll see.
Couch. On Lavia, I think they want 50, and we're not willing to pay that.
I don't think it's that. Yeah, I think the issue you got with Latvia, and I think it also applies to Arsenal as well, is that Caicedo's Chelsea's main target. Arsenal's main target is Declan Rice. The second targets after that for both clubs, from what I've heard, is Latvia. But no one wants to negotiate yet. They've spoke to him on personal level, but no one wants to negotiate with him yet until they sort out their main targets. So once the main targets are obviously through the door, then they will look at the option of potentially. And this is why I think with Latvia, I think depending on where Chelsea look, we could.
What'd you say?
Latvia.
Yeah, in the country. Latvia.
Latvia.
Jim, but I saw multiple reports saying that like they don't want to, like they feel like their valuation is too high because they want more than the buyback that City has in 2024. So City could buy back for 40. But they want above that if they want to sell to Lavia, and it's like
that's part of negotiations. Overprice your players.
Yeah. So it's like I think they're just not willing to spend that right now.
Well, if they sign Kai Havertz, if they get Declan Rice, they would have spent what? It's going to cost them 100 mil. There, it's going to cost them 165 mil on just two players. Arsenal without selling.
I don't think they're going for anymore. I think that's it.
I was talking about us.
They're selling Thomas Partey.
That's what I'm saying. It's just going to be us.
Saudi Arabia, isn't it? So I think they've got a few.
Yeah,
I think we'll be the only ones in. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Arsenal are going to be in. I think we'll be the only ones being for Lavia. So it's just I think as Jim said, I agree. I think we go Caicedo, then we go Caicedo, and then we go for Lavia. Not Latvia.
I always call it Latvia.
No, that's the country, mate. That's the country.
Lavia.
So I think he'll be. Yeah, I think once we get Caicedo down deal, if we get that done, then we go for Lavia because I don't think Lavia is the number one option. Lavia is probably 2 or 3.
If we get him and Caicedo,
that's fantastic. Yeah,
that is
fantastic.
Field and a half. I
know
and
they got a good bench and fuck.
Well, people moaning about Latvia, saying that he's too young and he's only had one good season. I've been reading. And
he's a baller, man. He's a brilliant ball carrier. Considering we're getting rid of Ruben Loftus-Cheek, we're getting rid of N'Golo Kante, we're getting rid of all our Kovacic as well, our ball carrying midfielders. Lavia is that kind of guy where he can get you from the defensive areas up to the attacking areas pretty quick. So we need a player like that. We need a Caicedo as a ball winner. We need Enzo who's the ball player, and probably a Lavia who's a ball carrier. And obviously they all suit each other's game. So I think if we can sign Lavia, he's one of the features. How old is he? 21 years old or something?
19.
He's 19.
There you go then. So he's a talent, massive prospect for the future.
Wait, is he injury prone though? Is he injury? Did he have any injuries this season?
I don't think there's enough evidence or any history.
I feel like that's just down to like growth. Like he's 19, he's still growing.
Yeah.
It's too small yet to judge. We're gonna have to wait and find out.
Yeah, it's just like Madueke as well. Yeah, no, I think it's a good option. I think we definitely get him.
The thing is, what do you think is similar to what we've got already in Chukwuemeka? Like, I just don't get it.
I think he needs a loan, man. I want to see him play because I thought closer to the end of the year we started using him in a deeper role, and I liked him there. Like that's where I want to see him play. I think he's got power.
He's a great ball carrier to me.
Yeah, there you go.
I think he should be this season. I think he should play well.
He does need a loan, though.
I think he needs his time to shine. He never got an opportunity.
I would use him now.
But he's not gonna get it though. So he does need a loan.
Frank Lampard's a selfish twat. He should have used him this season when as soon as Potter got sacked, instead of fucking forcing Kante, would have been great to Chukwuemeka to see how he goes. Now we don't know how he's going to play. I mean, I would use him for depth if we get it, but again, we're only playing one game a week. So,
I don't think Carney played bad when he came on anyway. I think he should.
Nah,
he
didn't.
He was starting at Aston Villa. He was at Aston Villa. I don't know why we weren't starting at Chelsea when Potter got sacked. We were signed late, but only 9 games. I don't know why. He was playing there. He played 2 Europa League games. When he was
Do you know what's making me laugh at the moment? Is how Arsenal fans are trying to turn around this whole Kai Havertz thing. Gal's just said Chelsea are selling Arsenal their best players from last season. This could become a good deal for Kai Havertz.
Human behavior.
Well,
that's the good Chelsea. All of a sudden, it's 90 million we paid for Havertz. Like, where are they getting these numbers from?
It's a great deal, man.
They're calling Havertz our best player.
Where they play? Where they going to play him? As an 8?
Yeah, he'll play next to Odegaard, I reckon. I reckon they'll use him next to Odegaard, and then they'll have Martinelli, Saka, and Jesus up front still. They'll just fill in there. I reckon they'll work.
We'll see how that works.
You can't spend 65 million on a player and ask him to sit on the bench. They obviously want him to start in the team somehow. So I think we'll have to see what happens. But Dan, I was just about to shoot off, but you've come in as well. I mean, how impressed have you been of what we've done today and up to this point? 130 to 150 million pounds of sales already. And that's without Mount and other people.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's impressive with the guys who are older who wanted to go. That's kind of the biggest deal because they want high wages and stuff. But I mean, I always knew we were going to get rid of players and these guys were going to go. I never once throughout the season it was like, no one's going to sign these guys. Of course, people are going to sign them, especially the young players. I'm happy Havertz is gone. Don't get me wrong. You know how I feel about the silky German. I just don't like selling to rivals at all. Because right now is the most fun Chelsea fans have, is when he's getting sold. If for any reason he bangs, we're fucked. So we can enjoy it right now. This is the best time. Let's have fun.
And I'll be coming and saying.
And I don't like him. I wanted him gone, but I just have a rule of selling young guys to rivals in the same league because you're gonna have to see them. And you know, everybody's development is different. He's not even 25 yet, so he's gonna hit some level of, I don't know, form or something. You know what I mean? Like we've seen players do it since the start of time. So that's my only worry is you don't give any of these teams young guys like that could become something. But I'm happy with 65 million. It depends on how we spend it now. And if we spend it well, if Jackson comes in and he's great and he comes in for 30 million, that's a great deal.
So Dan, would you rather take 35 from Real Madrid or 65 from Arsenal for Havertz?
I'd rather take 45 from Real Madrid.
Well, no, I gave you the number though. It's 35 from Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's a horrible number. Like I won't take that.
Okay,
like,
so
you just gave me a terrible.
Okay, so we'll work with your number. You take the 45 overselling to Arsenal for more.
Yeah, I would.
Interesting.
Okay. But I get that. I get what he's saying to a degree as well. You know, there is.
When have we sold a young player to Arsenal again?
Yeah, it's true.
When have we sold a young player to any of these top teams?
Well, we haven't. We've always sold them on.
No, we haven't. That's the point. Like people are acting like this is something that we've been doing for a while. We don't do this, so it's a little. I don't know. It's again, he could play exactly the way he's played for us and be shit, and it's perfect. But that 10-20% chance is just I don't like it.
That's because you don't.
There's always going to be a chance.
It's because the quality is there in Kai Havertz if he finds his form.
He's yelling in the back.
You know,
I think we've seen him for 3 years now, and he hasn't changed his game at all. His game hasn't.
Yeah, but it's different when you put him in the system, Couch, which is more effective. More
like we played him in so many different roles.
No, but you're missing the point. There's a massive difference between Chelsea and Arsenal when it comes to structure.
Absolutely,
I get it, but he's not working out here. You feel me?
We don't have a structure. We don't have a game plan. How many times have we?
3 years that he's been here, we've never had a structure or a game plan.
Well, no, under Tuchel we had parts of it, and I thought we played quite well under Tuchel.
He had Tuchel for 2 years.
Well, he's very good. I thought he was very good on the Tuchel, especially the Champions League stuff.
I didn't think he was.
He's very on and off, man.
No, he was fine. And you got to bear in mind, in that period, he was. I think there was COVID at that time, so everyone was getting COVID, weren't they? Through that period as well. So, like, you know, at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, you just need to be prepared that if he goes there and he does look a bit better than he did at Chelsea, and it could happen, it will be a lot to do with the way that they're structured and that the fact that they all understand their roles a lot better.
My
and they have a
only
game
worry,
plan than
my
when
only
Chelsea-
worry is if
they just need to bear that in mind.
Nkunku doesn't hit the ground running. That's my only worry.
No, I'm not talking about Chelsea. I'm talking about Arsenal.
I will not be crying if Kai Havertz bangs at Arsenal, so long as we.
Yeah, because he hasn't banged with us.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what you want to do. Would you rather keep him here for 5-6 years and be shit,
No, I wouldn't.
or just sell him
No, I
someone
think
else and let
this
him
is
be
always
thrive
gonna
there?
happen. I said it was always going to happen. I said he needs to go somewhere else, and if he's going to find what form and he plays
I hope
well,
he succeeds at Arsenal. Who cares? Like, I mean, he's been there. He's done that for you. We've tried everything we can for him. If it works at Arsenal, it works out. But I'll be honest, I don't think it works out. I think the owners know, the board knows that we're not going to sell our good players to our big rivals. I think that they know that, the fans know that, and I don't think it works out. I'll be honest.
I think Franklin, I've seen this Arda Güler. He's a good young player, but again, he's very young. He plays for Fenerbahce. He's had a good game I watched the other day. I think it was for Turkey as well, but not sure if he's ready for Chelsea. You know what I mean? So we have to see what happens. We'll go from there, but we'll see. We'll see. I ain't got much else to say, guys. I've got to shoot because I've got a bit of work to do elsewhere from here as well. I only come on very quickly to try and get it done. We've still done an hour and a half as well, so it's been good. I am going to Italy tomorrow for a wedding, so I hope Caicedo or Jackson don't decide to turn up while I'm away. But if they do, we'll make sure that there's something in place for it to.
That is a globetrotter, though, man. Every time I'm talking to Jem, he's going somewhere else, man. What's going on, man? Let's go to Italy just to go chill, you know?
Italy, Jem, where else do you go?
To be honest, I'd rather not go away. Is the answer to that. I'd rather be here, but it's a wedding, so I've got to go out there for that. But anyway, guys, big up every single one of you. Thank you for coming in. Panel as well. Thank you, Kev, Matt, Couch, Javi, EL Patron, Hassan. Go over to Lewis because he's doing a party. Because there's one player there's one player that lives in his head for too long.
Nah, he just mad, bro.
Has Lewis got a video right now?
He's doing a leaving party for Havertz. You know, he's
Is he?
You know why? Because you used to get on him with Christensen.
Well, you know, look.
Jim, you feel that hate. You feel that hate for him, 100%.
What the hate of Havertz?
The hate of Havertz, because I remember he loved Christian, you hated Christian. You loved Havertz, you hated Havertz, and I think you hated Havertz more because of you.
I don't love him. I love him.
Lewis personally came on the street, and said, "Let's go."
I've always loved Enzo. Enzo's my boy. Anyway,
I don't see an Enzo scarf back there. I only see a Havertz scarf.
I thought that would be won the Champions League. What would you do if we won the Champions League?
I just get a Chelsea scarf. I just get a Chelsea scarf.
Come on, guys. Come on. Let's not act like he didn't do Saint Special. We did do Saint Special with him. You know what I mean? Anyway, big up everyone. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new. We're back again. So we had nearly 600 people all the way through today. So big up to all of you guys that were here as well. Enjoy the rest of your days, and we'll be back again soon with some more news, guys. Take care.